Hello, friends! I just wanted to talk to you guys about something really interesting that I talked to one of our awesome group members about today. So the question is, why is it that people aren't buying what you're selling? So, the conversation I had this morning with one of our lovely group members, she was talking about things that she had created and now she wants to put out into the world. And the question was, well, it was easy to, not that it was easy to create them, but it felt organic, it felt comfortable to create these things. But then when it came to disseminating it, how do I get people to say an enthusiastic yes to me? I want to buy this, I need this. How do you get people to do that? So I shared with her a lesson that I learned the hard way, and a lot of us entrepreneurs learn the hard way, and if I could save you a little bit of heartbreak and sweat and tears and anything, I would love to tell you this little secret that I really wish somebody told me about a couple years ago. So, it is so important that you build your tribe before you build your assets. So many entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, even experienced entrepreneurs make this mistake where they start by building their assets. Maybe they start by writing their book, or they start by making an online course. They start building their site before they have a group of people who are hungry and ready and saying, yes, please help me, I need this, what can you give me, right? Well, if you have an audience in place, if you have a group of 500, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people who love you, like you, trust you, believe in you, follow you, then you can influence them and then you can find out what they actually want. The reason that people aren't buying what you're selling is because you have not involved them in the process of creation, right? It's interesting how, like, you take a little kid who, for example, really don't want to eat their vegetables, but you say to them, let's grow these vegetables. What kind of vegetables do you want to grow? Do you want to grow peas or carrots? And they say, oh, I want to grow carrots. And they see the carrots grow. Eventually, they will, trust me, they will eat those carrots. The thing is that you have involved them in the process of creation, and through doing so, you've gotten their consent and their agreement throughout. The thing is about marketing and putting yourself out there in businesses, it's all permission-based, okay? Good selling is not shoving stuff down people's throats. Good selling is seeing what do people already want that aligns with my talent, right? So, if you're making something in isolation, if you're laboring over it, you're in your basement, working for 3 years on something, and then saying, I hope and pray, we call this hope and pray marketing, which is really no strategy at all, right? If your goal is like, hi Elizabeth, oh, I'm so happy you're on, hi Cornelius, awesome. So if your strategy for selling is, I'm just going to hope and pray that this takes, I hope and pray that somebody will want this or buy this, then you're in for a rude awakening. Because this is a mistake that I made, and I can only say this out of love because I wish somebody told me this earlier, that you need to build your tribe before your assets. Because who are you going to sell this stuff to? Who are you going to sell this stuff to once you've made it, right? Instead, if you have people's consent that actively say, yes, I need this, I want this, I'm suffering, I have this problem, can you help me? Then you invent for them, right? The first program, or actually the second program that I ever sold, I simply called it the negotiation program. I created it because one of my clients was struggling with how to navigate in the workplace. And I said, okay, so what you're asking is about how to negotiate. And because he was struggling with this, I pitched it in front of him, I offered it to him, he said yes, and I made it after I pitched it. So many of us say, okay, I want to put out this program, and we start off by making it. We work really hard. We work years, months. We invest in it. We invest in design. We invest in website. We don't even have the clarity about what it is. What is it that we are offering? If you build your tribe, and by the way, guys, it has never been easier to build your tribe. There are so many platforms, okay? Listen, I'm not super Facebook savvy. Even in these Facebook Lives is kind of a new thing for me. But it's a wonderful way of gathering your people, finding your people, gathering your people on one particular platform. You can do multiple, but a couple platforms that you have your people on. Now, this person that I was talking to this morning asked me about, okay, but the thing is, like, how do I communicate with these people? Like, how do I present myself? what exactly do I say? Who should I be? That was what was underlying her question. Who should I be? That's the wrong question to ask. And the reason and this person is really, really bright and really talented, but it is a question that we often ask, and it's not the right question to ask. The right question is, how can I be who I am, right? Because some people will not gel with who you are, and it's perfectly, perfectly okay. Let them go. Because your people will stay. And I'll give you an example of this. So, you guys know that I'm pretty bold, and I'm pretty, tell it like it is, say what I think, don't really hinder myself. I don't mind using swear words in my posts, whatever. Whatever comes out authentically, I will put on the page, right? I had one of our group members who's a little bit more conservative say to me, and with so much kindness, and I really appreciate this, a private message saying, you know, it might not be so professional if you use the word shit in your post, so you might not want to do that. It might turn some people off. And hi Diane, oh, I'm so happy you're watching. Comment if you could, have you ever made something and then felt like, I don't really know how I'm going to get this out there? Have you ever started with asset before tribe? I'd love if you'd comment. That would be amazing, and I would love to see, because this is something that I experienced, this is something that so many entrepreneurs experience, that we make something, which is amazing, guys. It comes from like an internal drive to create, right? And there's something very self-indulgent about entrepreneurship, right? It's like, we're going to do what we want, when we want, how we want it, on our terms, and that's awesome. But the thing is, it is collaborative, right? So I can't speak to you unless you give me permission to speak to you, right? And so marketing is really permission-based, right? So I built this community of over 500 entrepreneurs, right? At any moment, you say, I don't really like her stuff, I don't really blah, blah, and you are absolutely free to leave, right? And so you are continuing to give me permission to influence you, right? And hopefully you find that it influences you in a positive way. And if you don't, you, of course, leave at any time, right? But this permission-based marketing is a really wonderful thing. And how is it that you get people to give you permission to talk to them, right? Like them being on your email list, that's giving you permission to talk to them. Being in your group, that's giving you permission to talk to them, right? So how do we build trust? It is so, so, so important that you know who you are, right? So when this person private messaged me and said, you probably shouldn't be saying the word fuck in your posts, I said, I really appreciate that feedback, and I'm still going to do me, right? I'm still going to be 100% how I am, who I am. I'm going to be 100% consistent. If that works for you, amazing. If that doesn't work for you, I really hope that you find somebody else that resonates better with you, right? But fundamentally, I'm not going to change who I am, right? I'm growing, I'm improving, I'm learning, I'm so excited and open and receptive to feedback, but fundamentally, I know who I am. And that's attractive. Thank you so much, Diane agrees. So that's attractive to people because we want to be led by confident leaders, okay? The truth is, we want to plug ourselves into the confident leader so that we too can feel confident and empowered, right? So when we see somebody else doing their thing, being 100% authentic, even if it's something strange, like even if you're like, I don't know, a mime, but you're like, you unapologetically just do it, that's inspiring to see, right? So I'm not going to change who I am for other people, but I really do care about what you want, and I do care about how to help you. So we hear all the time in the entrepreneur world, know your audience, okay? And you absolutely should know your audience. You should build, Diane says, authenticity rocks. Hell yeah. You should know who these people are. Like, so my goal has not been have the humongous Facebook group. My goal is curate, cultivate a culture of intelligent, kind-hearted, supportive people to support one another, okay? Jerks, you can leave. Luckily, we don't have any. We have a really awesome group of amazing, kind-hearted people who want to see you succeed. But the truth is, like, part of being a leader is knowing who you are, because you can't lead other people if you can't lead yourself, right? So know your audience never means ask your audience who I should be, right? So the person I was talking to this morning said, like, I first need to figure out what they need before I can figure out what to communicate. That's not necessarily so. You need to know your story, okay? You need to know what you're about. And the right people will stay with you and the wrong people will leave. tell you a quick story about Seth Godin. So Seth Godin was packing a theater full of who knows how many, thousands of people who came to hear him speak, right? You'd think a super confident person, he has all of these bestsellers, a strong influencer in the entrepreneur space, right? So he's giving this speech to this large group of audience members, right? And everybody's laughing and loving it, whatever. This one dude at the very front is asleep, okay? Can you imagine you're giving a speech? But everybody else is loving it, but this one dude is asleep in the front. And Seth tells this story and he says, I just wanted to make that one person like me. Like, I just wanted to, like, wake him up, make him laugh. Like, I wanted that person to like me. And he's like, it distracted me the whole time that I was speaking. I just wanted to get that one person. Like, why didn't they like me? Why weren't they paying attention to me, right? So he goes to his mentor, Zig Ziglar, who says to him, obviously a motivational figure, right? He says to him, Seth, that is not your person, right? That is not the person that you're trying to influence and persuade. If he were the person, he would be actively engaged in listening. Look at all of these people who are laughing. Those are your people, okay? So you don't have to bend yourself into a pretzel so that other people will like you. And by the way, something that I really hope that I've been able to communicate and convince you guys of in this group is that when you are needy, needing nothing attracts everything, right? So I always say, like, I would love for you to like me, but if you don't, I'll be fine, okay? I would love for you to be my client if I feel that you are worth investing my time and energy in. But just because I would like to does not mean that I need it, right? And so the difference between want and need is so crucial, and part of why I'm comfortable taking risks, and part of why I'm comfortable jumping on Facebook Live with my hair looking a mess, whatever, I don't care, is because I know who I am and I'm not scared to take risks. The reason I'm not scared to take risks is because if you don't like me, if I screw up, if a bird comes and shits on my head, I'll still be okay because I'm really tight with myself. I really love and respect and support myself, and I know myself, right? So I wrote this article a while ago called The Work, and the basic premise is don't do busy work to avoid vulnerable work. All of us are keeping the most important work that we're supposed to do on ourselves for later, right? So let's say calling up a client and pitching them is like the most scary, nerve-wracking thing you can do. You'll figure out some other way to spend your day doing something else, right? Trust me, like, I've done this, like, procrastination thing, too. I remember in my undergrad, there was this big, I don't know, like, 30-page essay I was supposed to write. I was like, this would be a fun time to learn how to bake bread. And so I learned how to bake bread for the first time, and I reorganized my closet. I found everything that I needed so that I didn't have to actually say, right? So, I understand that you might want to be doing the busy work rather than the vulnerable work, but when you really know who you are, when you do the vulnerable work of asking yourself questions like, why do I feel stuck? What do I care about? What am I willing to sacrifice? What is not okay for me? What are my boundaries? How do I want to live my life? What kinds of freedom do I want? What do I value? Who am I going to say no to? Who am I going to associate with? Who am I not going to associate with, right? When you've done the work of asking yourself all of these questions and you are in alignment with who you are so freaking unstoppable. And other people will be attracted to that because there is nothing more attractive than someone who knows who they are and they're unapologetically getting out of their own way and doing it. So, why is it that your stuff is not selling? It may be that you don't know who you are. And by the way, positioning is all about saying, hey, this is who I am. This is what I don't do. This is what you can expect. This is what you should not expect, right? Articulating very clearly who you are and what you're about. Oh, hi, Mila. Awesome. So, at the end of the day, like, you have to understand who you are, and that's an important part of being able to sell yourself, right? Think of business like this, like a three-legged race, okay? So you can't get to the finish line by yourself, okay? You're tied. Your leg tied to your prospect's leg, right? So if you can get them to the finish line, to success, then you can win together. But you cannot win in isolation. You cannot win without enrolling other people in your dream and your vision, okay? You cannot win without consulting, collaborating, talking with, engaging with. By the way, read Gary Vaynerchuk's Thank You Economy. It's So powerful in terms of how engagement with your people is so important. You can't get to the end of that race alone. You just can't. Okay, so if you're laboring over, and by the way, I understand it's like these projects we're working on, that's our baby. Like, we love it. I wrote a book of poetry in my undergrad, like 300 something pages. I didn't want to share that with a lot of people. Like, I wanted to keep it close to myself. But the truth is, like, eventually you want people to engage with your stuff, right? So show them along the way. Show them sneak peeks. Say, this is what I'm working on. What do you think? What do you want more of? What do you need more of? But no, your audience does not ever mean ask your audience, who should I be? You define who you are. You decide proactively and communicate that to other people. Myself, I'm a confident communication coach. So I need to live that, right? I tell you, do scary shit, and I do scary shit, okay? I've done my first ever masterclass 2 weeks after I broke my knee. Hi, Stacy. Oh, so happy you're watching. So tell us, Stacy, have you ever made something and you wanted to put it out there, but you weren't sure how to, or you were nervous to put it out there? Seth Godin, by the way, says just ship it, right? Just put it out there. Way easier said than done. Trust me, guys. The only reason that I'm nice to you is because I've had to figure these things out all for myself, right? Like, I would never, all of the people that I work with, the beautiful, amazing clients that I work with, I say to them, like, yes, what I'm assigning you is difficult, but I will never assign you an assignment more difficult than what I've assigned myself, because I can only lead you as far as I've led myself, right? So, build your tribe, okay? Have your people. There are people, like our lovely friend Tim Ferriss, okay? And Tim Ferriss has his people, right? So he could say, okay guys, I want everybody to wear a white glove and dye your hair blue. And his people, he doesn't even have to tell them why, okay? His people will get a white glove and dye their hair blue. And the reason is because he has earned authority in advance. Before he's tried to give something or ask for something, he's earned authority. Part of how he's done that is he's helped move the culture forward in so many ways. He's helped us hack ourselves and figure out how to be better, bigger, faster, stronger, because he's made himself a guinea pig for his own projects, right? You can only take people as far as you have taken yourself, and your business is only as strong as you are as a human, right? So I want to encourage you, find your people by knowing who you are, by offering valuable things to those people, and by the way, you have to talk to them. If you want to know what they're, like, you need to know what they're struggling with, right? If you're saying, I am after to your before, okay? You were me 3 months ago, you were me 6 years ago, you were me 10 years ago, and I am the after. You could be me if you wanted. And I'm not so different from you. Actually, I took a couple strategic, thoughtful steps. And if you take those strategic, thoughtful steps, you could have the same results as me. And I'm no smarter than you. I just did a couple very strategic things that I didn't even know before I knew them. And I would love for you to know them, because it will save you countless hours, time, money, energy, right? So give generously and give lovingly and have conversations with your people. Like, it doesn't matter if you start with a tribe of 5 and those people are mom, aunt, cousin, best friend, whatever, okay? People who are generous and are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, ask them, how can I be of service to you? How can I help you? What are you struggling with right now? What is difficult? What do you wish was easier? What do you want less of? What do you want more of? What do you care about? What is hard? What makes you dread getting up in the morning? And how can I make your life easier? And who do you need to talk to? And who do you want to connect with? And what do you care about? And what are your dreams? And what are your passions, right? Get to know these people, because maybe those like first 5 people aren't your clients, but they're going to give you clues, and you're going to gather intelligence and start to learn what it is you need to learn to be a good leader for these people, right? You are, as an entrepreneur, a problem solver. Well, how in the hell are you going to know how to solve people's problems if you're not, 1, asking them what their problems are, and 2, you're not even spending time with them? You're hoping that they just fall from the sky as soon as you have an offering. Well, that would be naive to assume, right? So I don't take any of you wonderful people for granted in this group. You teach me so much, and you help me to be better at helping other people, and you help me to help myself, right? And help you, and like, you have to understand, this is a three-legged race, okay? You can't get to the end by yourself. No person is an island. And they say if you help 1 million people, you'll make $1 million. As soon as you have proven you can help people, people will give you permission to talk to them. They will give you permission to influence them because they know it comes from a place of good and love, right? Part of the reason that I'm able to convert phone calls into clients is because they know that I have a vision for them, right? If I don't think that I can help you, I'll say, go talk to Susie or Mary or Petra or George, John. Go talk to that person because I'm not the right person to help you. But if I think I can help you, I will pounce and I will say, listen, I would be irresponsible if I didn't give you my thing, if I didn't give you my gift, if I didn't give you my wisdom, if I didn't give you my insight that I learned the hard way. I want to give that to you. And I've learned it the hard way, and I wish that somebody came to me 5 years ago and said, hey, by the way, you don't want, because, guys, this is what I did. So I moved out into downtown Toronto. I spent like 4 months by myself to work on building an online course, right? Now, I wish that, it's not, you know what the truth is? Like, honestly, I had it in the back of my mind that I really should be talking to the people that I want to sell this course to. But it was just easier, guys. That's the vulnerable work, is asking and engaging and talking, right? So it's just so much easier to just you and your computer and Starbucks, you're making something and you're self-indulgent, it's what you want, and you're an artist and you're 100% for you. But then don't expect that the people that you want to buy this are automatically just going to show up and say, oh, you want me to give you money? Sure, right? So instead, you need to be fostering a continuous dialogue with the people that you want to help, and you will get better at helping them. And you will be able to serve people in a more loving, more generous way because you understand what their pain is, right? When you want to sell, you need to understand only 2 things. Well, no, that's a lie. You need to understand like 1 million things. But like, let's make it simple. You need to understand what their deepest pain is, and you need to understand what their greatest aspiration is. And if you want to be good at selling, you have to become a contrast master. A master at painting the contrast between the deep suffering, anxiety, pain that they are in right now, and the gorgeous, beautiful vision that you have for them. If I don't have a compelling, amazing vision for you, I will not offer you to work with you because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time, okay? So if I feel that I can help you, if I know that I can help you, if I know that, and by the way, there are some pre-qualifying questions, right? Like, I don't want to work with people who are not going to implement, right? There are people that I know I could help if they are willing to give me permission, if they're going to say, yes, I trust you, I'm all in, right? There are people I know that I could help who are not at the point that they're ready to do the vulnerable work, and that's 100% okay, right? They may be too early, and they may come to me later when they are suffering enough and struggling enough that they're like, hey, actually, you do have a point, I would love to learn from you, right? So, anyways, this is a long way of saying that if people are not buying your stuff, I have a sneaking suspicion that you did not involve them in the process of creation. If you did involve them in the process of creation, then they should be saying hell yes to you before you even, listen, outline, you can have preliminary models to show them whatever, but you don't need to flesh it all out and spend 3 years laboring over something, put it out into the world, and then there's crickets, right? Like that. And I say this, guys, I know maybe this fake live is like, this one in particular has a lot of tough love. I don't know, maybe I put on like dark lipstick and I'm like, I'm gonna be a bitch on this one. But no, the truth is, honestly, I just say this from such a place of love that I see so many people making this mistake about, I'm gonna make all these things and then hope and pray marketing, spray and pray, you can call it, right? I'm gonna hope and pray that somebody likes this. I hope and pray that somebody wants this. So please comment, make me feel better about the fact that I made an online course salary negotiation before I even polled my people, is this something that you want? Now, I'm not saying, like, listen, if you've made stuff, that's beautiful. I'm not trying to take away from that at all. It's amazing, and it's hard to make stuff, and it's beautiful to solve problems. And that's an asset that I'll always have. Right? It just might not be for right now, right? It might not land right now. And so this is the way that we work, okay? This is the way everybody goes about this when they're really playing the game, right? So we go full force thing. Like, I went full force into course creation. And then I was like, oh crap. What exactly do my people want and need, right? And that was it was just too late. Like, I had spent so much time building this thing. And it's sort of a tragedy, guys. For I know there's like a ridiculous amount of gorgeous talent in this group. What a tragedy would it be to put your stuff out there and have to beg people to engage with it? Like, how would that feel to make something, to write a book, to, I don't know, build a course, to make something, and then have to beg people? Like, this comes from love, man. Like, it comes from a good, deep place in you. To have to beg somebody to engage with or to buy your stuff, feel shit. So, if you want to avoid that, find your people, gather your people, be kind and loving and supportive to your people. Choose a platform that you would like to learn, or that more importantly, that your people are on, right? Got to make their priorities your priorities. And then give and say, how can I make your day better? What are you struggling with? What is hard right now? Like, generosity is not just like a strategy. It has to inform the way that you engage with your people. So I always want to invite you guys, if there's any way that I can be useful to you, please don't be shy to post in the group and ask a question. It is my absolute pleasure to hook you up with links and resources and people. Just the other day on our masterclass, 9 Essential Entrepreneur Ingredients, right? At the end, I stayed as long as I had to answering everybody's questions. And this one awesome guy, he said, I want to meet people of patents, right? And I said, perfect. I'm going to hook you up with my wonderful friend in the group, Sasha. He's wonderful. And I did, and they were messaging on Facebook, okay? It is my pleasure to connect you with the resources that might be useful. Or if I'm not the right person, then I know a lot of people who might be the right person to connect you with what you need. So please don't be shy to ask for what will be useful to you, because it's my pleasure to help you in that way. Anyway, my friends, I just wanted to send you a lot of love. Actually, can I show you my paper here? Oh no. Oh, anyways, I don't know how to do that. I wanted to show you. So I have like a million notebooks, and before bed when I can't sleep, I just like write out all my ideas, things that I've read from books, and things that are just like circling around my brain, so I can't sleep. So I just like scroll them all out in my really horribly messy writing that, like, honestly, I can't even read sometimes. And one thing that and that's why I wanted to share this with you, it was triggered by that conversation that I had this morning with a wonderful group member of ours, was that there are like 5 or 6 mistakes that entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, less experienced entrepreneurs always make, and we learn the hard way. And one of those was assets before tribe, right? So make it a project, tribe building. Who are my people? Where are my people? How am I going to seduce and entice them? Because you do not want to be chasing, guys. You do not want to be like banging down their doors for them to pay attention to you. You want to earn authority, earn attention, right? Somebody on the call was saying, why isn't anybody responding to my pitches when I send email pitches like I want to get a new mentor? Why is it that nobody's responding, right? And I said I have a sneaking suspicion that it's pretty boring, that your first message is really straightforward and doesn't have a lot of personality, doesn't have any chutzpah or boldness or intensity or tension. I have a sneaking suspicion that your first message is an ask rather than a give. A sneaking suspicion that your first message doesn't give a lot of your story or who you are. Have a sneaking suspicion that your first message doesn't have a lot of social proof. Am I right? I asked. And the dude said, yes, you are right. Okay? So, like, you really want to make sure that your communication is reflecting who you are and why you're interesting, because you are not entitled to attention, and I don't take it for granted for one sec. Any of you who are watching this, Cornelius, Diane, Stacy, Mila, I do not take it for 1 second for granted that you have granted me permission to talk to you and hopefully influence you in a way that's positive and useful for you. Anyways, my friends, I just wanted to send you a ton of love. This game of entrepreneurship is really intense. It can be really, it can be really painful, it can be really vulnerable. You have to confront yourself every freaking day. But we are doing beautiful, meaningful, important work, and I'm inspired every day by having you wonderful people as my peers. And I just wanted to send you guys a lot of love, and I'm just so glad there was no lipstick on my teeth today. Anyways, my friends, I just wanted to send you a lot of love and tell you have a beautiful day. Please feel free to ask any questions you like about this. Tell me, do you disagree with me? And that's 1,000,000% okay. I want to hear. Have you ever made something and not known who's going to actually consume this? I would really love to know. Okay, my friends, have a beautiful day. Bye, guys.